Welcome, everyone. This is a short video from a tall narrator. In fact, I'm going to say the world's tallest male narrator. And if you are taller, please step forward. I am 6 feet 10 inches. Bring it. Of course, that's not going to make a huge difference when you're listening to my books, but there it is. Now, this is part of my series called The Process Project. What I like to do is take samples of works and put my voice to them the same way I would with a book or an audition, um, taking different elements that I use to prepare a text and sharing them with you, give you a little peek behind the curtain. And then part two is where I interview the author about their process, because that's something I want to learn about as well. So here we have K.C. Ramsey's Lethal Beauty. Now, Casey has provided me with detailed character backstory and also the context of the book and where the story is going, where the story has been. So that has informed my narration big time. But with these videos, I like to focus on just one little element at a time for how I prep. So what you'll be seeing is black font and blue font. The blue font indicates when the mood is going down. Black indicates when it is fairly up. One could argue, okay, no, sometimes things are just neutral. Um, Not a great attitude to have as a narrator. Things need to be either going great or going not great. One could even say bad. So that is what you'll be hearing in the narration and also seeing alongside the text, which will be scrolling while I'm reading. This is a great opportunity to go full screen when I play you the excerpt. That way you can track yourself and see how my voice is changing based on these notes that I'm taking in the text. So, Lethal Beauty by K.C. Ramsey, sample, go.
Alessia didn't look happy. I would go so far as to say she was fuming. But she didn't turn her fury on me, so I called it a win. Tossing me the keys to her black BMW sports car, she slammed the door as she settled into the passenger seat. Well, Mr. McAllister, we appear to be stuck with each other for the time being. But when I find out you're planted by my brothers, I'll kick you to the curb faster than you can blink. I hid my smile at the when, not if, in her statement. Where would you like to go? I asked, backing out of the parking space. Just start driving. I'll tell you when to turn. She barely looked at me, typing furiously into her phone. I was happy to be directed to an Italian restaurant and parked in a spot well away from the other vehicles. She waited patiently as I circled to open the car door, obviously well versed in security protocols and not about to cause trouble for me. Her brothers had been clear that she was a handful. I was prepared for her to try to run on me or make my life difficult as I tried to protect her, but she'd done neither so far. She also hadn't run back to her house, home base, so to speak. Most people would want home field advantage when being thrown for a loop the way she was, already reeling from the curveball her brothers had lobbed her way that morning. But instead, she picked a small little restaurant off the beaten path. Getting us a table for two, she settled in the booth with her back to the wall. Instead of challenging me, knowing I needed the position for her safety so I could see everyone coming and going, she slid over, making room for me to sit beside her. I can't stand having my back to the room, she admitted when she saw my curious look. Hazard of having brothers who loved to torment their little sister when we were kids. Again, something about that statement didn't ring true. She wasn't lying, but I definitely wasn't getting the full story from her either. I appreciate you not taking your surprise out on me. I can understand not being happy with the situation, but I assure you I'm here for your safety, not to spy on you for your brother. I was being truthful. Keene might have asked me to watch her, but I wasn't about to spill her secrets to him just because he was a friend. I kept my work completely professional. Sure, I hadn't done it as a civilian, but I'd been assigned PSO duties in the past and was confident in my abilities and the lines I needed to stay within. I appreciate that, she said, but seemed more preoccupied with her phone than what I had to say. She put her phone aside, the food was clearly more interesting than I was, and grabbed a piece of bread. She tore it in half, putting part of it back in the basket before smothering it in butter and plopping it in her mouth. I love bread, she sighed after swallowing it whole. I never would have guessed, I said wryly. So, why did you decide to become a PSO? She asked, looking at the basket with a forlorn expression, but not making a move to take another piece of bread. I tore a small chunk of the one in my hand, giving her another small bite. Surprise registered on her face as our hands touched, whether it was because I'd given her what she'd clearly been about to deny herself, or the zing I'd certainly felt when our hands touched. I wasn't certain. I shrugged. I like the challenge of it, the constant change of pace. I take the jobs I want, but I'm a private contractor, so I'm not stuck with anyone I don't like. What about you? Why did you decide to become a model? I could have cut off my tongue. Her face closed, a door slamming on her emotions, replaced with an icy mask. I recognized the look as one she had on most of the candid pictures taken of her on modeling sets. I've always dreamed of becoming a model, she said, but I could tell it was a line. What girl wouldn't want to travel to some of the most beautiful places in the world, wearing gorgeous dresses, and see her face on the cover of magazines? Apparently not this one, I thought.
Again, that's Lethal Beauty by K.C. Ramsey, out for your reading enjoyment. Next up, I will be interviewing Casey, so please have a look for that video. And as your narrator, I hope that my voice and your ears meet again real soon.